Hi everyone, it's Steph here from the Novelty Corner and welcome back to my channel and welcome to my Love in the Night Readathon TBR video. You may remember a few weeks back when I posted the announcement for this readathon, for which I'm one of the co-hosts, and I'm really excited. It is a paranormal romance readathon taking place from the 8th until the 14th of November. This readathon was created by Shay and has 4 other fantastic co-hosts: Laura, Izzy, Tamika, and Crystal, and I will leave links to everyone's channels down below so that you can check them out. We are so excited about this readathon and to be reading paranormal romance books for an entire week. We will have a live show on the 14th of November at 7 p.m. EST. However, if you are like me and you are in the Southern Hemisphere, you'll have to work out some time zone conversions. I think for me, that puts it at 11 a.m. on November the 15th. Australian Eastern Standard Time. But I'll be that person who's organised really early and just hanging out, waiting for people to tell me that it's starting because I could very easily get those times wrong. This is a bingo board challenge readathon. There are a whole stack of prompts. I have chosen a book for each prompt. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to get to every single book because I'm struggling with that a little bit at the moment, but it's nice to have options. If you need any recommendations for books for any of these challenges, we do have a group document where we all recommended a whole stack of different books. Plus there is a playlist with all of our videos and recommendations for paranormal books that I will leave linked in the description below. So if you get stuck, there's tons of information, please check the description. Now on to my TBR. For the challenge to read a shifter novel, I am planning on reading Hearts of Fire by MCMASTER, which I believe is a dragon shifter's paranormal romance. I've not had the best success with dragon shifter books in the past, but I've also not read that many of them. So hopefully I will enjoy this one. I've heard nothing but good things about MCMASTER's books, so fingers crossed. For the challenge to read a book with a different style, I was originally planning on reading a webcomic for this. However, I have gone back to a novel just because it's something that I really want to read, and that is Waking the Dragon by Juliette Cross. I believe it is a paranormal romance with dragons, but I'm not entirely sure if they're shifters. Like I said, I don't read a lot of paranormal romance with dragons, so this is a little bit outside my comfort zone. The third challenge is to follow all of the hosts, which I've already done, but you can definitely do by clicking the links in the description below. For the challenge to read a book by an author of colour, I am planning on reading Awakening by Moni Boyce, which is a novella, perfect for a readathon, and features witches and vampires, I believe. The next square to tick off is to post your TBR, so once this video goes off, I can put a big tick on that one. Then we come to the challenge to read a sequel, and depending on what I read the week that this TBR video goes live, I'll either be continuing one of Janine Frost's series or I'll be continuing the Psy Changeling series. It's all dependent on what I manage to get through this week. For the challenge to read a vampire novel, I'm planning on reading This Time Tomorrow by Tessa Bailey. This is the second book in the Phenomenal Fates trilogy, and we follow Roxana, who is a vampire slayer, and she falls in love with a vampire. The group book is Barista and the Bear by Rebel Carter. This is a bear shifter novel. Again, this is a novella, great for a readathon, and I believe it is a small town paranormal romance as well, which I think is just going to be so much fun. I haven't read too many bear shifter books, but the ones I have read, I've really enjoyed. For the challenge to read a host favourite, I am planning on reading First Grave on the Right by Dorinda Jones. This is book 1 in the Charlie Davidson series. This was recommended by Laura, and I actually had this sitting on my Kindle, so I thought it was a great time to pick it up and read it. I believe this book features Grim Reapers and ghosts, which are 2 things that I really enjoy, but I don't see a lot of in books. The next challenge is to post your wrap-up, so I will be doing that at the conclusion of the readathon. Then there is the challenge to read an LGBTQIA+, and for that I'm planning on reading Burning Blood by Daniel DeLorme. This is the second book in the Bonds of Blood series and features a male-male romance between vampires, I believe. It's been a while since I read the first book, so I'm hoping that I'll just be able to pick up and continue the series. And finally, for the challenge to read a booktube darling, I'm hoping to read No Rest for the Wicked by Cresley Cole, which is the second book in the Immortals After Dark series. I did read the first book maybe back in January or February, so it's been a while, but it is a series that I would really like to continue. So that is what is on my Love in the Night TBR. I'm so excited. I'm really looking forward to whichever of these books that I manage to get to. I hope that I can get to all of them. I'm quite happy that there are a few novellas in there because that does make it a little bit easier. But whatever I get to, I'm going to be so happy to have read them. I can tell. In the comments below, let me know if you're participating in the readathon, and if you are, what are you really excited to read as part of the Love in the Night readathon? Don't forget to check out the description for all the information that you need. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I know that myself and any of the other hosts would be happy to answer any questions that you have. We hope that you join us, and happy paranormal romance reading. Bye everyone.